right. Should be live. Checking the gate. Make sure everything's good to go. And we are disco. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try that again. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome back to the Jedi Academy, the Q&A show for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, where we do nothing but answer your questions. If you are new to this show and are wondering what the hell is going on down there, well, what it is this is a straight Q&A show. And all you need to do is we have an amazing panel who I'm going to introduce of content creators and people that know the game a hell of a lot better than me. And all you need to do if you have a question about the game is put your question in the chat. And the way it works is when you put your question in the chat, make sure you put question in front of your statement or I'm going to miss it. I'm the only one collecting questions. Finn's on vacation, visiting his brother, doing something again. So I stand before you a broken and bitter man as I do all the work. So that's the way it works. I do all the work. Finn just gets credit, and then I punch him in the face. So, but get your questions in, and if you do me a favor, give us a thumbs up for the video, subscribe, spread the word. Let's get lots of people in here for the Jedi Academy. It's the best damn show, period, in the entire galaxy to get the best knowledge you possibly can for everything. So, hell, I consider myself a pretty damn good player, and I learn stuff all the time. I'm like, I did not know that. So we all need to grow as people, get better at the game, and that's what this allows us to do. But good morning to everybody out there, fans of all ages, skewers. Good morning to all my skewers out there. I know it's Saturday morning, and we appreciate you spending your Saturday morning with us. So go ahead and get those questions in. I'm going to introduce everybody. First of all, he needs no introduction. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Warrior from Warrior Presents. Yay!
What is going on, my friend? What a wonderful, beautiful morning.
I know, and Warrior was just telling me he's on vacation, so he's chilling.
Yeah, I'm on vacation, but I wanted to spend these 2 hours on vacation, intentionally with this show.
See?
I love this show.
See? That's what makes Warrior great. How can you argue with that? How can you argue with that? Everyone go to his channel right now and give him 10,000 thumbs up. Just go do it right now. Also joining us, she snuck in. She didn't think I saw her. But I did see her because I see everything. My nemesis, who will soon fall to the dark side of the Force. Jedi Master Dastra.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are you here? Are you fully here and ready to go? Jedi Master Adastra? You're not doing any force meditation or anything like that?
Yes and no.
Yeah, okay. It's been a few weeks, Jedi Master Adastra. What have you been up to?
Yeah, I thought I'd at least pop. I was thinking that too, that it's been a little bit. I should at least pop in for any time that I can. Mm-hmm. It's just I can't stay for the whole show anymore.
All right, I'd like the fans out there, if you'd like to hire like an intelligent, charming young lady that doesn't have to work weekends so we can have her on the show, please reach out to Jedi Master Dasha. Seriously, pay her the big bucks so she can just work Monday through Friday, and then we can have her all day Saturday. Now that makes me a greedy bitch, but I don't care. I want what I want. So, how long are you with us today, JMA?
We'll see.
We'll see. Jesus, Lord. Good Lord. All right, so that's well, I'm sure other people will pop in eventually, but it's Saturday morning, it's hard. People need their coffee. I'm drinking my coffee right now. I got my Starbucks coffee.
Yeah, I was like, where's everyone at?
There's a lot going on during the summertime and stuff, so
That's
sometimes
true.
people can be on, sometimes people can not be on, so there you go. All right, so we got everybody. We got you and we got Warrior. We're good. We're gonna answer these questions. So, I'm gonna start with you, Jedi Master Dasha. Since it's been a while, what's going on in the game? What's on your mind? There's been a lot of stuff going on. Like Malik's not back. We've had the new GOTB. I don't think you were here when we talked about that last time, and we got GAC going on. What's going on in your brain there, Jedi Master? What are you thinking about in the game? What's got you thinking?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on, and got another GLTV coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that first one was just like, "Whoa, this is crazy and scary and awesome!" Like all mixed in one.
Did it
So we're
hurt?
kind of excited to hit it again now that you kind of, we got that first experience. Now we can kind of adjust and go for another star, and then, but probably the most exciting thing, I'm sure you'll love this. I gear 13 to my Jedi Knight Guardian,
Why would you do that?
and among others, I mean, I gotta slowly get them all gear 13, of course, but she'd been at the top of the list. That's my favorite underutilized Jedi.
Now instead of hitting for 5, she'll hit for 6. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, she actually does hit pretty good. Thank you very much.
Mm. Let me introduce you to my good friend called Malik.
I hate that guy.
He's evil. He's like, oh, that's cute. Double-bladed yellow lightsaber. Oh, that's nice. And let me introduce you to my jaws of death.
But yeah, that's definitely been a lot going on with the GAC thing. We're in the full exhibition this time.
Yes,
Like,
we
what,
are.
5 weeks? Like, good grief.
Yeah, they're making my life tough, man. Because I'm Division 2, and again, I'm facing all Division 1 people that have like way more Gear 12s and stuff than me in GP, and so they can do a lot more than I can. If I'm not perfect, I am basically hosed. So I like the challenge,
Yeah, that's
but
where they're definitely like making it more so that you want to cheese your defenses for that reason. Like make
right.
it, but then you can go for the feats too, because those are so important. So it's kind of lame in that sense that you're more limited, and it's not like the old GAs. It was a little more carefree in the older version.
Yeah, I mean, you can lose, but let's say you full clear your opponent, you both full clear, you still get the points, right? And I think you only separate by they'll get more points for victory. That's it. But if you're just trying to get the Kyber, cheese your defense. You'll get there, because if you full clear them, that's damn near 2,000 points a match. You're going to get it, no problem. So I've been seeing some people do that as well. Luckily, the guy did not do that yesterday, and it was a great match, and he did a great job. So I was telling Warrior that
It's more enjoyable when it's.
It is. I had the freakiest. Yeah.
Strategic way.
Yeah, I had the freakiest stuff happen in my match yesterday. You guys can go back and watch. I'm sitting there facing Bounty Hunter team with CLS, which I've done a million times. I win every time, but this time it went to hell because somehow 3 thermals on my CLS from it just wiped them out. He just exploded. I was like, oh. After I just killed Jango Fett and was killing Boba Fett, I'm like, just doing my order, all of a sudden he exploded, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Those thermals.
I mean, I wasn't expecting if I get more than 3, I get a little nervous, right? But 3 or less, I'm like, it's gonna hurt, but you don't expect it to kill them, right? So I was a little shocked, and it cost me the victory, but it's all good. All right, Warrior, what's on your mind? What have you been thinking about with the game and stuff?
I've been really thinking about all of the people out there who are playing Grand Arena Championships and what they like, what they dislike, and 2 things have kind of come out of this. The first is there are a lot of people, probably such as yourself, who are complaining about the matchmaking. However, I have to say, the newest matchmaking is as fair as it could be humanly possible. To be honest. You're in Division 2 simply because of your GP, and that's your total GP, ships, characters, and everything in your entire collection. But when you go into Grand Arena Championships, you don't use all of it. You don't even use half of it. So what they're doing is they're cutting all the fat, and they're only comparing your highest end to their highest end, your best teams that you could potentially use to their best teams they could potentially use, your Zetas, their Zetas, that kind of thing. And that is actually pairing you up with Division 1. What this means is you're a badass, and you're playing above your weight class because you have realized I don't want to do any more of the fluff, and so you just started laser focusing, and so you've got. But if you were to just take, the top, 80 characters of your roster and compare it to these Division 1 guys and took their top 80, you are literally comparable to theirs, like really, really close, which is why you're being, assigned to them. So, yeah, do you have a bunch of, undergeared characters that you're not using? Yes. The only advantage in my eyes that this has for that person with the higher GP is if there's a tie, they win, and if they have to do cleanup. Let's say they go in and things don't go according to plan, and that does happen. They've got way more cleanup teams at their disposal than you would have because of that kind of fluff in their roster. So there is a small advantage in that, but I actually see the layout of how they're doing this far better than it was for what we're seeing. It's significantly better. I mean, now that we're like, oh, that guy had 800,000 more GP, and we're like, oh man, that sucks. But then we realize, like, you beat him still, and that's not what was happening in the past. So I've been paying really close attention to victories and losses, and when someone complains about their GP, I say, how did it end up turning out? And like every single time under the new system, people are like, well, surprisingly, I beat him. It's like, you were just complaining that they had, you beat by like 1 million GP, and now you beat them. Like, I think that's a pretty fair assumption that they did a good job pairing you with somebody you could beat, because you just did. You just proved their algorithm right. But the issue that has actually arisen that I have seen, that's not that, but it's something else, and it is legitimate in my eyes, is when someone sets a single team and then screws the rest. What happens is, if there's nothing, Capital Games will set defenses. If there's everything or even one, the Capital Games won't step in. So what happens is, even though someone could set one team and you on offense could kill that one team, get a full clear, and basically win the match guaranteed because he won't get his defensive set bonuses and stuff, that person can actually go and kill all your teams because they have all their teams. They can kill all your teams, get all of the 100,000 credits on each one, and get like 800,000 credits or whatever, 600,000 credits, 800,000 credits, depending upon how many nodes they have. They can get full clear bonuses. They can get all of the crap that you can earn, even, and just accept the loss. Just, they look at you and they go, yeah, no, I'm not going to win. There's no way I'm going to win. And they can give up, and they can set one crap team, and then the rest of the nodes will not autofill, which they should. And then and it should punish you. It should set all your best, so that way you don't have them to use on offense to full clear because you chose not to participate. And then but what's happening is someone will set like level 1 characters in one node, and then the rest is open. And so the person who's actually wanted to play Grand Arena Championship gets to do an attack where they take in like one character and win, and then that's it. That's all they get to do. They earn no achievements. They earn none of the things you could earn over time. They get none of those full clear bonuses. Nothing. They're just screwed. So they get the victory. They get the 1,000 points. Well, in theory, they get the 1,000 points. They'll get it on Monday because the game's broken again, and they're not getting their victory points. The same thing happened to me in my Scissorman account, but it doesn't really matter because that'll put you into a Kyber league. The only thing or a higher league, and the only thing that does is unlock something in the store, and that's it. There is no the actual earned currency comes from basically all of the stuff that you have to do, all of those feats that you have to complete. And so the individual who's the jerk gets all the money and credits and currency and feats, and the other person who was trying to actually play gets totally hosed. And that de-incentivizes the individual who actually cares about this GAC to play, and the one who didn't care, it actually incentivizes them because now they've come up with a way that if they know they're going to lose, they don't really care about that extra 1,000-point win bonus. And like I said, the game's broken. It's not giving it out to everyone anyway. So they just set a crap defense, take all their things, and move on. And so they've got to fix that. They definitely need to have an auto set feature that doesn't just auto set if it's completely empty, but it auto sets all of their best characters, their top 80 characters, because that's what they're being used, or the top 60, however many is being used in that analysis. And those, if they're not set in their entirety, they need to be set by being pulled from the top. So it ruins their opportunity to have good team synergy on offense if they don't set their defense.
Right. All right. Words of wisdom from Warrior. Also popping in, see who else popped in here. We have Mr. Michael W. Huntington III from Her Queen's Majesty Royal Gaming Services. Mikey, what's going on?
England are in the World Cup final of cricket, and it's the British Grand Prix. And apparently there's some tennis being played. Oh, and we're doing SWGOH as well, aren't we?
Yeah, why don't we talk about that? Yeah, nobody cares about your country's achievements there, buddy.
Sorry, I'm a bit late. I was, you know,
You were dealing with sweary, I know.
I'm a petrol head, and it was Formula One British Grand Prix qualifying. Wholeheartedly agree with Warrior. I mean, at the moment, GAC is open for some real dick moves. You know, like Warrior says, you know, put one defense out, which screws the opponent over. So, I mean, theoretically, if you get a few guild mates and then maybe a rival guild opponent, you know, you can be quite strategic with retarding their advancement in feats and whatnot. Other than that, stoked about the fact that we've got GOTB about to kick off again. Lady Adastra, what happened? I was hoping to meet you in either the second round, or if I make it through that now, the final.
Oh, I know. I was really hoping to face you. Like, it would have been so much fun. And we could have, like...
I would have commentaried that.
I would have...
Yeah. We could have had fun with that. Or even, like, set certain
Jedi.
Yeah. Like, I could have set, like, all Jedi for you. Or could have, you know, like, we could have had so much fun.
And that's not happening because...
I flubbed so bad. I was kicking myself. Like, I made such a stupid mistake, and it cost me the match.
Okay, we'll chat afterwards, just in case I get past.
You still could face each other. I mean,
yeah, if you lose, you lose, because I should win this one. I mean, unless I really screw up, I should definitely win this one. So if you lose,
naming people. Who did you get?
There's still a chance.
Who are you drawing second round?
I think the guy that you actually faced.
Okay, well, we'll chat then. We'll definitely chat.
Just lose, Mike, and then we can have an epic match of No, you gotta get your best rewards. So, but
yeah, you gotta win. I mean, because that would be cool if you know, one of us needs to be in the finals, so you better get there.
I gotta find out T Money's doing. The thing that's I'm so impressed with T Money is I've won 16 GAs. Of course, I'm not gonna win this one, but she's won all hers. Every single match, she's been in the same position as me, and she's won. So I gotta find out how she's going. She's on a crazy.
She's been on point for that.
Yeah. I was gonna try to keep up with it, but when we did that Disney run thing and stuff, you know, I just didn't have time for GA. But I've been kind of tracking when she said she was undefeated. I was like, good lord, I thought I was killing it. She's really killing it. So.
Yeah, what's the sucky thing though with the rating systems? It's not accurate to show who the best people are though.
No,
you'll get a ton of banners and points for if your opponent doesn't have Darth Malik. Right there, that's a huge advantage, you know, versus other people that they're facing all the Gear 13 Darth Revan teams. So their points, even if they defeat a better opponent, it won't be indicative of them being better than this other guy that beat a whole cheese stuff, you know? So it's like the whole bragging rights isn't really, you can't brag much with beating cheese.
No. So
isn't it true that T Money opponents get a knock on their door from Harvey Cartel giving them GAC tips?
No.
Just before the match. That's what I heard.
He's not.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I know he's a wolf man. Stop it. Shame on you, Michael. All right, so it is now time for questions. That's just the panel's thoughts on what's going on in the game. Make sure you get your guys' questions in. Make sure you put question in front of your statement. Good morning to everybody in chat. Usually I shout out everybody in chat, but that's a lot of people, and we're here for the QA, not for me to shout out everybody. So let's get into it. Get your questions in, and that's a great way to get shout out, because then I'll say your name and be like, ha science. And again, everybody, thank you for the birthday wishes and everything. It meant a lot to me the other day. And yes, my AC is working, so don't ask those questions in chat. My AC is working now. The days of the sweltering heat of being 90 degrees damn near my apartment are over, so I'm living the life of normalcy. All right, so let's get to some questions. We'll start with our man Warrior and work our way down. So first question from Dan Sherman Warrior. He says, question, good morning Ranger and Warrior, would you gear Juhani, or is there a better option for a Karth team?
Well, I mean, there are better options, but I would gear Juhani just for the synergy of Old Republic and an extra tank. Plus, Juhani is a Jedi, so she can be used not just with him, but with Jedi.
Yes. I think she is fantastic in the Old Republic team. She is such a nuisance on that team, because just when you're dealing with Zalbar, then all of a sudden she taunts. You're like, son of a, I mean, the team can be countered, so can all teams, but that team synergistically wise, it works really well. I've seen Juhani used in TW, like on Jedi Knight Revan teams on defense. Kind of for the same reason, because you're taking Kenobi and putting that on your GR team for offense. Any other combinations? Like, if we didn't have Juhani on there, I get this asked a lot. Like, who would you want to put on that team, Warrior? Keep the other four, just take Juhani out. Who would you put on there for the Old Republic team?
Well, I mean, I used to put Nest in there.
Sure.
Instead, just because Nest ruins a lot of people's day. The problem is now Nest, if you build her right, is so annoying that it's really, really important you put her with kind of almost a subpart team. So that way, if they take in a team that's, not an A squad, they're going to lose. And if they take in an A squad, they waste it on a trash team that happens to have Nest. So if you put in Nest with a really good A defense, like Karth is a good A defense in my opinion. I mean, if you don't, there's only like 5 teams you can take in that really win against that 5 or 6 teams. So if you don't have those 5 or 6 teams available, you're not going to win. And so you got to leave one of those available to kill Karth. And if Nest is in there, it just makes sense. It's like 2 for 1. You get the Karth team killed and Nest all at the same time. So a good pro tip for people is, if you think this is a team that they're going to use Freya on, don't put Nest in there. Because if you put Nest in there, then they're using Freya anyway. They're going to use Freya to kill Nest. Freya is kind of the default easy way to kill Nest. It's just like, oh yeah, easy peasy. And so if you took and apply that to the same team, they're getting a 2 for 1 kill. They're going to kill your Nest, and they get to kill a Karth team with a Nest team, which is an easy win there too. So you always want to make sure that you put Nest in the team. I like to put her underneath Kira Scoundrels, because the Kira Scoundrel team is
pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt, but it's not as powerful as some of the other defensive teams. But you go throw a Nest in there, and now it's like, all right, I got to go take something decent against that team.
Yep.
So.
All right. Next question will go to Jedi Master Dastra. Well, first I got a question from Durg. It says, question, Finity has been missing Saturday streams recently. Has he abandoned his duties or been fired? No, he's just been on vacation dicking off. So, next question for Jedi Master Dasher from our good friend Ski Trooper says, question, I finally got my Stark as fast as Jedi Master Dastra. What does she prefer to use them for in GAC? Night Sisters? Question mark, question mark, question mark? What do you like to use them for? JMA.
Yeah, hey, congrats. That's really good. Matching my speed. So that means I need to get mine a little faster, huh?
390 speed, make it happen.
No. No, yeah, that's awesome. Like they're really useful. There's quite a few different teams actually that I've used them on. One popular one is bounty
Yep.
hunters. People always set bounty hunters, so troopers can take them out if your Stark is fast enough, which you're matching my speed, so you're gonna be able to take on for almost anything. um, and then, Night Sisters. Depending on the Night Sister team, that is. Like, you gotta be careful of the Asajj speed and Spirit, because sometimes Spirit is stupid fast.
And she will
You
ruin
don't
your
wanna
combination.
I mean, I tried it like, hey, I'll go let their Spirit go, and then I'll go. It can be a uphill battle, because she'll throw down on whoever she hits. So that'll kind of slow you down if she hits, say you're Stark, then you're kind of screwed because then they might all go before you if the speed gaps are really close. Um, then let's see. I've also taken down the Kira comps. That I have enough DPS to where I can kill L3, and so I don't get stuck there. Let's see what else. I guess again, depending on your opponent and the mods and stuff. Like if say they had like a super slow, I don't know. Try to think what else. But those are usually the main three.
Yeah. Bounty hunters especially. When I see like a slow boss
Bounty
lead,
hunters is the go-to.
it's like,
yeah,
absolutely. That's why you see a lot more people running Django lead so they can get the extra speed. But
I was
even
just
then,
gonna say, however, sometimes I have encountered it where they have a fast Django, or they do the Django lead and then they have a fast boss, and I'm like, come on, do I really need to get more speed on my Stark now?
it's what they do.
They're a fun B team, C team, whatever level we're calling them these days, to have at your disposal for that reason. At least in my bracket though, I get some pretty insane opponents, but I can usually trooper something, so it's still been worth it to keep them as a good offensive team.
I agree. All right, next question for Michael Huntington. Let's see here. L. Kelly question. In a stream earlier this week, Xylo said Geos kill Night Sisters. What Zetas are required, and does it still work when Nest is with the sisters? What do you think there, Mikey? I know you've got the Geos you've been playing around with.
Yep. So, okay, to answer that, the only one you really want is Brood Alpha's unique, is it? The one that brings the Brute one. So you start with Brute. The reason for that is that Brute's taunting from the get-go. And the second part, I'm going to answer quickly. If Nest is in the Night Sister comp, no, that's never, ever going to work. I think it's been proven a few times already that Geos are one, and I underline that, one of many squads that Nest pretty much can solo. So the caveat is you need a pure blood Night Sister squad, and the reason it works then is that you've got Sunfac with his basic is going to remove buffs, so you're constantly taking away zombies taunt, and then you just bearing down, or depending on which league comp it is. Ordinarily you want Daka gone first and then work your way through them, but they're sharing they equalize health constantly, so they're constantly healing themselves, which takes away any plague that might be there. They are an awesome squad with the introduction of Brood Alpha. And
who's the lead on that team? Brood Alpha?
Brood Alpha's got to be the lead,
yes.
Definitely. Until we get, I mean, that's the second part, the third part of this then, is that with the potential, the devs I think have already intimated that Geospy is definitely getting reworked after Geospy had to be nerfed because of infinite loop opportunities with the amazing amount of turn meter he would have been gaining. Poggle has to be surely reworked because Poggle's lead was set.
He sucks.
It's a day one lead. I mean, there was a time, believe it or not, when we were all playing like level 50 where Poggle was actually viable, but that was pre-mods and pre-so much stuff. That was just base, and then he was okay. Now, no. So Poggle, again, rework, and then if they're doing that, then the chances are they'll do the entire faction and cash in on it, some Zetas and extra abilities and whatnot. So it's looking like a good time for Geos. I mean, I'm seeing a lot of interest in Geo. I've seen get screenshots where there's one node that's held on either side, and both of them have been Geos. So yeah,
science. All right, back up top to Colorado's Rocky Mountain High Warrior, and the next question's from Apropos Wooin, and they say, question: now that I need to use the bugs from Joe's apartment, how should I mod the team? Joe's apartment, Jesus. Geo question.
Yeah, so I actually have my Geos modded. So Apropos, who happens to be a patron of mine, can go check them out on my account. Yeah, could go check them out and see how I have them modded. I don't have them modded perfectly yet, but I just basically threw a bunch of damage. Listen, they're going to do damage. They're going to do even more damage with the leader. They're going to get a huge health and protection boost, 30,000. So I would worry less about the health and protection of the team, the durability of the team. I'd worry less about that and more about the damage output. Really, you just got 5 characters you want to do as most damage as possible. They're going to regenerate health and protection anyway, which is actually pretty good. It works out pretty well. So the durability, the viability of the team is pretty good. It's just a matter now of kind of getting their speeds up a little bit. So you want some secondary speeds on there, and then you want like crit chance, crit damage, things like that. Is how I would do it. I'd get their crit chance, up or above 50%, so they consistently crit and get their offense up and their speed up. So you're looking for offense and speed secondaries, kind of like a traditional damage team. Basically, think of them as Imperial Troopers 2.0 kind of thing. Really, they're going to be your Imperial Troopers of the next generation. In fact, I highly considered stripping all my Imperial Trooper mods off and just reallocating them to them, but I'm like, I don't know, because I still use my Imperial Troopers sometimes. So it's really tough when you've got 16 teams now that you really want to have modded. How do you mod 16 teams really, really good?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling stretched thin. I think a lot of people are. Like, I can put 80 speed on anybody, but I can't put more than 80 speed on anybody. It's really hard to kind of get past that threshold. I mean, I'm going against these guys, and they've got key characters over 130 plus speed, and they've got like 15 characters over 130 plus speed. I'm like, I've got 5 sets over 130, like in the entire game. So, I don't know how that works, but whatever.
We do what we must, right? All right. Next question for Jedi Master Adasha from who? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Question: with all the changes to Separatists and Geos, do you think CG will change the Padme event? Any idea when the event should be back around? What do you think about that, JMA?
I don't think they would change the event. I don't think they've ever done that. Once the event is out, it is what it is, and then we get these stronger characters and changes along the way. They don't ever scale the event afterwards with it. I mean, that's when you get like those legendary stuff. Not legendary. Sorry, that next level one, mythic.
Yes.
Or the tougher stuff. But yeah, they're not gonna mess with the Padme event. You're safe there. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be a lot easier for a lot of people now with these reworks. Like Dooku got a great rework, the Separatist now, and now you have a new Separatist you could throw in there if you have him starred up for it. So that it's like, yeah, you won't have to grind through it like we did on the first pass.
Hundreds of attempts. God.
As for the event coming back, I'm not sure. Does anyone have that handy of when that's supposed to come back?
I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
My guess is
like
beginning July or beginning of August is when it should be back. So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, it feels like it should be pretty soon, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course, then that's what we thought about Malik, and he's still gone.
Hey, he doesn't need to come back. It's okay.
Nah, it's not that
No
important.
rush.
Yeah, you don't need him. It's fine. Yeah.
We don't need another sea of Maliks. It's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. God. All right, next question for Mikey. From Frat Tony 99. Hey, he says, question: Brood Alpha Geos on offense or defense in Grand Arena Championships. My current defense is Darth Revan Malik, Bounty Hunters First Order, Jedi Knight Revan, Karth, Phoenix. I've never lost more than 2 zones with this setup. If Geo's on defense, who do I replace it with? Jedi Knight Revan, or who do I replace? Jedi Knight Revan?
Ooh. Personally, I'd keep Jedi Knight Revan because he's such a great defensive squad. I mean, if you mess up, then you really messed up. You've used an A team, and got a hit with a second A team. So I'd leave JKR in there. Who are our other options?
Bounty Hunter First Order, Jedi Knight Revan, Karth, and Phoenix.
Out of all of those, I think personally I'd switch it for Phoenix.
Yes.
And give them an actual challenge. I mean, unless your Phoenix are absolutely zated to the rafters.
Even if they are, you can still go in there with Nest and just wreck them. You know.
And there's enough footage out there now showing that Phoenix actually are fantastic as an offensive squad.
Against the Karth team because of all the counters and stuff they do.
That's it. And they'll even take out, depending on the Zetas through them, they'll even take out Night Sisters and whatnot. So they are a legitimate or viable offensive squad. But they're on defense. They're kind of one of those squads where you're like, yes, fist pump, because here's a dead cert win, and chances are we can even do it with an undersized squad and work towards our feet. So they would be my squad that I would replace with the Geos.
All right. Back up top to Warrior with a question from JLY9. Question for Warrior. I have switched to a fast Malik and have been having a much easier time in Arena. Thank you for the tip. Do you have any other modding tips that go against traditional wisdom?
Well, yes, but I would like a little direction. Maybe that person can kick out maybe a specific team that they're using. They want
a little hard.
And
and all the characters in the game, Warrior, what is your plan? Give it out.
Just share them all, mate.
Yeah, share them all.
I did kind of, I mean, I'm happy, I'm helping people, but I also kind of sad because a couple people on my leaderboard heard the Last Jedi Academy and they remodded their team, and they have a couple sets. Yeah, they have a couple sets over 160. I only have one set over 160, so I can't compete with that. They've got more than 2 sets over 160 speed plus speed, and so now there's 2 teams that I just literally I can't win. I go in, and before I take a turn, I've lost 1 or 2. Sometimes I lose 4 before I even take a turn. And this is a team I was walking through, and it's all just tweaking of the moddings. But now that they know that it's fastest Malik and fastest Darth Revan, and that's the order, and that's all that matters. Everyone's going to that route. I've got a couple of people on my leaderboard that just couldn't do that even if they wanted to, that are below me.
The mods,
I got a few that are like me that just they're like whatever, and then there's a couple people now ahead of me that they just got better mods and they're able to do that. So now I have to go around certain people, but other teams, there are just a lot of other teams out there where traditional people say do X, Y, or Z, but it's kind of like what, why? I think one of the things a lot of people don't take advantage of. I mean, I think a lot of people are taking advantage of it more now, but is tenacity on tanks. You got to remember, tanks are always going to take the brunt of stuff, and so people think about tanks as, like lots of health, lots of protection, which is fine. Defense sets, health sets, but tenacity is one of those things that is really genuinely underutilized still, even after the popularity and influx of tenacity capability. So I'm constantly looking at people's rosters and going like, why is this guy not got at least 100% tenacity minimum? And they're like, huh.
Well, yeah, I see that too. Yeah, I think it's not just tenacity. You make a great point there, Warrior. A lot of people put mods on characters. Like when I'm remodding rosters now, I'm like, all right, explain to me what you were doing here. Why are you not using this set here? Why has Grievous got all this stuff on here and none of it's health related? So I think it's just not just tenacity. I think people. And let's be honest, modding it can be overwhelming, right? But I think if you can learn to take a little bit of time and understand what characters need speed and which characters don't, and like your point about having tenacity on some of the tanks, it really makes a difference, man. It really does.
Well, for example, if you're Sunfac, okay, we're just talking about bugs, right? We're how do you mod your geos? Well, Sunfac is the tank, right? And this is the deal. This is why the Geos can slaughter Night Sisters. And for the record, they can. Obviously, if they start popping to Gear 13, Night Sisters, you got to start popping your Geos to Gear 13. And if you need the top 3 list for Geos, it's your Geo Brood Alpha goes Gear 13, Soldier goes Gear 13, and then Spy. Those are the only 3 you need to do. The Soldier and Spy get 2 of the top jumps in damage of any character in the entire game. So they gave the most love to the Geos in damage increase. And if you want to see that, it's on Reddit. Someone pulled all of the winners and the big winners and losers. It was an SWGOH.GG special on Reddit. But it shows the top winners and losers, and on the top winners for damage increase, 2 of the Geos, the Soldier and Spy, are up there. So like in top 5. So they're really great to get to Gear 13, and that team can do it. But what happens is, right, Sunfac constantly gets called to assist because that's all the bugs do. They just everybody attacks, everybody attacks, everybody attacks, everybody attacks. And so you're getting a dispel literally every single attack. And so they can't keep their taunt up on the other side. So you don't have to worry about the Night Sisters because it constantly removes the taunt. You can target someone you want. And the mass attacks just whittle away the Night Sisters really, really fast. So they're really great. But if Sunfac is stunned, and there's 3 characters that stun, and it's really easy to get all 3 of them with a really high potency, he's not going to be participating in this. He's not going to be dispelling, and you're going to get stuck. And this really easy team that you can beat, you can't beat. But if you throw, 150 to 180% tenacity on Sunfac as the number one thing, and not worry about the viability, durability, not care about protection, not care about, other stats, and just say tenacity is all that matters. Now they're trying to stun your tank that's taunting, and they are failing. And he continues to do what he's supposed to do, and you just slaughter. Those stuns can literally make or break the game or the battles. So it's like one character has an overt amount of tenacity, and you win. You don't do that. You just put a ton of protection because you think you're cool like that, and you lose. So, that's the kind of tweaking I think people need to be looking at, because that it comes down to that. And I'll be honest, I have to eat my own words. Every time I go against Night Sisters and it goes south, it's because whatever team I took in, my tank didn't have enough tenacity. And I lose because I get stun locked. And I'm like, no! It's my own fault. I know better, but, I've got to go in and I've got to remodel a lot of things. So the same goes true with Imperial Troopers. A lot of people use Imperial Troopers for Night Sisters, and they've got them overpowered in Gear 13 now and stuff, but they know that, their auto taunter, Shore Trooper, has to have a ridiculous amount of tenacity for him to be effective as your taunter. Otherwise, he just gets stun locked, and you can never get his taunt up. You can never get the damage, critical hit immunity up or anything like that. So. Yeah.
Good points. All right, let's see here. Next question for Lady Adasha. What else 73 says, is Lady Adasha's Jedi Guardian Gear 13 yet? We already discussed that.
yes, she is.
Oh, Lordy. Oh, my God. All right, his actual question is, what else 73 question, Looks like I'll face the only other opponent in my group with a Darth Revan team, no Malak, in the finals. Should I put my Darth Revan on defense or save for offense?
Well, that's dependent on a couple of things. The other teams that you have available. You have can you take on a Darth Revan without your own Darth Revan? Like, are you confident in counters? Because if you aren't, then keep your Darth Revan for offense. So in case if your opponent sets it, you'll be able to clear it no problem. But if you have, and then if your Darth Revan is better than theirs and you have the counters, then yeah, you would set it, because then there's the chance that they could get stuck on it if theirs is inferior to yours. But again, it depends on the rest of your options. So you could just be safe, keep it for offense, and you'll be able to take down his or anything else, because he might save his for offense as well. But I don't know if you have the other counters to safely get through a Darth Revan without your own. Because that would be the only way. Because then you don't want to get stuck. If you can't defeat one without your own, then that's not going to be fun.
All right. Next question for Mikey from Jason Krulik. Question. I'm thinking about gearing up all of Geos to Gear 13. Is this a good idea? I've already gotten Sith Empire and 3 Separatist droids up to Gear 13.
Sounds to me like your guild's totally focused on GOTB. Yeah, if that's where you're focused, you're going to benefit from GOTB definitely, and also your GAC and quite possibly your territory wars, depending on what defenses they've set or whatever. They're going to actually, Gear 13 doesn't actually impact on ships at all, does it? I think
it does a tiny bit. Yeah, you get 1 speed, I think. Like we were looking at the Falcon,
And like 1,000 health.
Yeah, so
you get like 1,000 health and like 1 speed. Because I did both Chewie and Han, and I got 1,500 health and protection and an extra speed.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, then I'm looking at it as a win-win-win, because the Geos are one of the ships that you can use in the GOTB, and even if you're not doing you must be doing GOTB to be that focused on SEPs and now Geos. So yeah, I think that the benefits for all of that will be great. The only concern is, if this is in detriment to your arena squad, although we could quite well be in a transitional stage where maybe arena isn't as important, although until the currency rewards come through, you've got to really make sure that you don't lose out on your arena until we switch over. That would be my only concern there.
All right, do me a favor, guys. If you're watching this right now, make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video. Stop what you're doing. Just give us a quick little thumbs up. We got 120-something people watching. Get a little bit of love for what we're doing here. Would be very much appreciated. All right, back to the questions real quick. You have a couple ones that are just, let me see here. Yuta, does Grim have a 7-star Thrawn yet? No. Grim, are you enjoying the peace and quiet now that Finn is gone? Yes, I know I am. I agree with you. All right, back up top to Citizen Man Warrior from Ron Osborne, newer name. I haven't seen that before. Well, welcome to the show. Question: what is the best Darth Revan team for Arena without Darth Malak?
Honestly, the best team without Darth Malak is, instead of Darth Malak, you just add Sith Marauder. Sith Marauder's got massive damage gains, massive damage boosts. If you can get 10 to 15 stacks of ferocity, use his special wisely. His basic can hit for 60 to 80k also, so you can really clean up characters such as HK-47, get them gone first, and then you can focus down others. So basically you would use the traditional team, the triumvirate, if you will, which is Revan, Basti, and HK, and then you put in Trooper and Marauder. Marauder is, durable. He's got a ton of health steal, does a lot of damage. And the thing is with him is he can throw his special, and as long as it crits, it actually reduces the total health by 15% permanently on the character. So if he throws that early on, as long as you have enough high enough crit chance to throw it early on, that it doesn't trigger Malik's, life-sucking thing ability, it actually
love it.
It'll permanently reduce his health, and it won't trigger his damage enough to cause him to use his ramp-up ability. And then later on, you can do it again, and it will reduce it another 15%, and 30% of your 180,000, which is what the average one, brings it down to about 120,000, which makes it really easy for HK to one-shot your Darth Revan to kill, or your Malik to just, be able to one-shot if you've got, or not your Malik, I guess, because you wouldn't have that, but Sith Marauder to throw and actually finish him off later on. So it's not an easy task to go against that without it, but I would throw his special early, reduce the health, and then, basically bring him in instead of Malik. A lot of people are doing the same thing, but instead of Sith Trooper, they're bringing in their Sith Marauder for the same purpose, and that's a really great team. And if you happen to have the fastest Malik and the fastest Darth Revan on your squad, and you're not using Marauder, you're doing it wrong, because Sith Trooper at that point is a moot point. The only purpose for Sith Trooper is to have an auto taunt to prevent fear going on your entire team by the opponent. But if they're going to dispel and then hit your leader, your Sith Trooper is literally trash. So you got to, basically figure out what's going on your battles. You should be able to see what's going on as you're playing.
All right. Next question from Trash Gamer. Real quick question. When does Malik come back? Soon, TM. We have no idea. At this point, we throw our hands up.
He's never coming back.
Nothing for you. Next question. Let's see. From Who !3 for Lydia Dashi says, question, I unlocked Brood Alpha last night. At what gear and star level would you put his Zetas on him?
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's actually very viable, assuming you have the other Geos geared up as well. He's actually viable at a low star, low gear. I mean, obviously not gear 1, because that's not going to work. But yeah, I mean, the star level doesn't matter, really, because he just elevates the bugs to another level. So you just want to gear him up so he'll survive a bit, since he's a little squishier at the lower star levels, of course. But again, contingent on having the other bugs, though. So you don't want them, say that like your whole team is like gear 8s across the board. That's probably not gonna do a whole lot.
No.
But say you had, your Brood, he's at only gear 8, 9, and your other bugs are 11, 12. You'll be able to take something on, because they just elevate them so nicely. And say you set it on defense too, you can definitely trip up an opponent. Like, it's been I've seen people doing it, like, it's a great back row team. So when people have less OP counters available when they open that up, sometimes they'll underestimate it and it'll get a hold for you. But definitely, because it's going to be a while to get him 7-star gear 12, so you don't need to wait for that time. Like, you can do it, like I said, star level. I saw people do the Zeta right away at the unlock, and then they just geared him up to gear 11, and he was viable. So, all right. Kick butt with those bugs.
Hell yeah. All right, real quick, we had a $2 donation from Ghost. Choo Choo trying to get the super chat train started. So, well, there you go. Thank you for the donation there, Ghost. All right, let's see.
Real quick, sorry.
Wait, what? No, what's that? I can hear you, Dasher. You. All right.
It was fun hanging out for a bit.
It always is a pleasure to have you. Anything you want to pimp your channel or anything like that before you go, Jedi Master Dastra?
Yep, Jedi and Galactic Republic rule. Yeah, Jedi Master Dastra on YouTube. I upload arena videos and raid videos about Jedi. Shocker.
Shocking.
And the Galactic Republic. I'm actually due to upload some. I've been doing a lot of arena testing against these full Gear 13 Darth Revan Malak teams. So I'm gonna be uploading some of my arena trials against that stuff. But yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for being here, Jedi Master Dasher. We always appreciate it.
All right. Well, always fun to be here.
All right.
Take care.
Everyone just get a J in chat for JMA as she leaves the party. So, all right. Next question for Kitch. Question for Mike. What's the future like? Got tonight's lotto numbers?
Kitch was very quick on the ball and pointed out to me that I actually post-dated my arena run from my arena payout climb yesterday. Apparently, I was doing the arena climb from the 22nd of July. Yeah. So thank you very much, Kitch. I went in, I amended that, and the answer is always 42.
That's right. The real question is from Sean Ragnar the Red Kelly. Question: any guesses on GR or separatist ships coming for the 2 new capital ships?
Ooh, it would make sense. I mean, I'm under the impression that this year is going to be a ship year, and the fact that we've got Negotiator now kind of as the giant carrot dangling from why we should all be doing GOTB. It's getting the It's the unique currency that we get from that raid is the only means of actually acquiring shards for the Negotiator. It's a Galactic Republic tuned ship. Yeah, I mean it would make sense. And following on from that, I've been trying to be careful with how I word things here, but we assume Xylo Takedown definitely is chomping at the bit for a light side Geonosian territory battle. I mean, we're getting the pieces. It would all seem to fall into place. Personally, I think that it's going to be later in the year, and any character and ship releases, I would assume would tie in with the release of the new clone series. I'm ashamed to say that I am not that well versed in the clone animation series. I am very well aware of just how many there are, and the fact that there are a lot of very good characters in the series. So they've got a massive pot of great tunes that anyone that's like any clone fan would love to see in game. It long answer short.
Yes, please.
I think there will be, and later in the year.
God. All right. Ray Rock says, question: Panic Farm calculus says Padme returns in 21 days. We shall see. That's the beginning of August, just like I said. So we'll see. All right, back up to Warrior Jedi Training Bogus says, question: now that the X Game Changers are covering Marvel Strike Force, do you think CG will become more engaged with the community like they did a year ago?
No.
They've been pretty engaged.
No. Really?
More than they have been. I mean, it's gotten better, but recently there's been silence, right? So like our last Wednesday show, we had nothing. So they go through these periods. Before that 2 weeks, we had so much stuff. Like we had 18 posts we were covering, and then this last week we had 0. So it's kind of like feast or famine with these guys right now.
Yeah. So this is the deal with them. This is just my 2 cents on them, and they know this. I think that they're just too wrapped up into their own world, and it's not an intentional thing. I don't think they're out there like, let's, screw the game changers or not talk to them, or let's not talk to the community. I think it's just that they're wrapped up in their own world and they do their own thing, and they kind of get, sucked into their own world. I've been physically out there at Capital Games multitude of times, and when I'm there, they work early morning to late night. They're working all around the clock. They bring their dogs to work sometimes because they work such long hours. They've got, they'll order in a bunch of food for people because people can't even take lunches because they're so busy. Like, if you go to Glassdoor and you read, they actually have really bad reviews from ex-employees because it's a really tough work environment. And I'm not trying to dog the company. It's just the company as a whole has, I would say, actually a pretty stout work ethic, but I think they kind of get wrapped up in their own little world and just kind of forget about the outside world. To top that off, you've got somebody who isn't the best at social media running the show, and so it's kind of feast or famine in that sense. She's a nice person, but Carrie will go and be overt about communication, and then she gets publicly lambasted for something, and then she recoils and just kind of hides for a while and doesn't communicate, and then comes out with a lot of communication and then doesn't communicate for a while, and it's this real back and forth. Hate to use the word bipolar, but that's kind of the communication style. Is a bipolar communication style, and it's been that way actually since the beginning of her being there. We get really great communication for a period of time, and then it goes away. And if it's not her responsibility, then I don't know whose it is, because she's kind of running the show. John Solera, I believe, is her boss, and he could probably try and take that off her shoulders, because I think she's got more on her plate that she needs to do than communicate with the community. I think she needs to hire someone to do that, but whoever they have doing that needs to do a little better job. Crumb does an okay job. That's kind of what he was hired for, was to do that. But even then, in the last week, I've only seen a couple of replies on Reddit from him.
Right.
I haven't seen anything on the forums, and I haven't seen any posts of their own volition on either the forums or Reddit that actually proactively talk about these issues. Like, we are aware of an issue. We are going to resolve this issue. This is what's happening. Like, I know I won, didn't get my 1,000 points, and I went to the Discord and I sent it up to them as a bug, and other people in the Game Changer program are telling me, oh, that's on Reddit. And I'm like, oh. So I go to Reddit and I'm like, oh, okay. And then I see a comment from SB Crom saying, we're looking into it. We'll look at it Monday. So, you could, I don't know, tweet that, forum that, make your own posts, Reddit, more than just a response that's buried. Send a reply on Discord. So the communication has always been, since I've been in this program, good at times and terrible at times.
Yes.
And it's just back and forth. And sometimes when it's really good, it's not because of anything. It's not just because we're covering other stuff that all of a sudden they start communicating. Yes, that happened. They got really good at communication right when Marvel Strike Force came out. But they just naturally ebb and flow. And the only way I can describe it is just, like I said, it's a communicative bipolarism that occurs in that organization, because there's certain individuals that aren't communicating enough, and then for whatever reason certain other individuals decide to kind of step that communication level up, and it feels good for a while, and then those people are too busy, they stop doing it because it's not really their job, so communication wanes, and then those people kind of feel the heat, so they kind of start to communicate some more, and I don't know, it's just back and forth.
Yeah, I think the consistency has been lacking. So, yeah, compared to what it was back in the day, it's gotten way better, but then these hot and cold streaks really... I don't know how that works. One week we have 18 posts to cover, and then the next week 0. It's just mind-boggling. I mean, I understand there was a weekend holiday in between, right, with 4th of July, but nothing? Really? Nothing? Not even a little bit? No? Okay. Let's see here. Next question from Mikey. Andy Fox says, question, Brood-led Geos, Brood Gear 11, Unique Zeta, Gear 12 Geos, ruined my Grand Arena. Kira Nest timed out, IT and JTR lost, finally used Treya, which was easy. Any good counters for these Geos? Mikey, what do you think?
You hit me on the nail on the head there. They are an awesome squad to go against. You've got to bring a really good squad to take them down. I haven't heard of anything that's that's kind of on the cheesier side that's doing it. I suppose we could always theorize that if you can land and retain days, you'll shut them down. It's just how you achieve that. Otherwise, otherwise you've really got to treat that squad with respect and hit it with something hard like the triumvirate.
Yeah. Well, you can use JTR, but the caveat to that is you need like a hold on there with her AoE days that keeps them from assisting on stuff and then control the team. If you're going in there with like Finn and Scav Ray, well then
you're gonna you're going to imitate us quite a lot.
I'm into my Urs. We're doing good work here. Oh man, let's hit him with this thing again. All right. God dang, these bounty hunters won't go down. All right, let's whack them one more time. Oh God, the money! Greatest moment in our game ever. It's the greatest thing. He should just put that as his intro clip, man. It would be the greatest thing ever, man. Oh my God. But yes, you have to be smart about what you use against the Geos. You just can't use your normal counter. You got to think about stuff like that. I mean, one of the reasons I use hold on my JTR teams is I use it against teams that like to call and assist and counter stuff. And AoE days is your friend. It really is, man.
It's really good to know that DT can wreck a nest, though, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because I mean, for me,
I did it yesterday. Now, I had a net. Yeah, I mean, Death Trooper just because I used troopers against that Kira team and wrecked the living crap out of them, and then it was just down to nest. I'm like, well, time to death. Never mind. I just killed her one shot with my Death Trooper. So I mean, he can be. Certain characters, again, those are the characters you got to think about in your teams when you're using them about how you're going to deal with certain things. So if you go in there and you don't plan it out and just think, oh, I've got JTR, it doesn't matter what I use, I'll win. Certain teams you can get away with that, certain teams you're going to get wrecked, and...
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking that if you see the squad, so like for me, normally it's the nest. If I see nest, then I'm straight to my triumvirate because I don't want to mess around. I want to clear that zone first time round.
Yeah.
Because I've got to throw something in reasonably decent to take down Nest if Nest is left.
Yeah.
But now, of course, you've got that, oh, wait a second, what's behind them? Because if it is the Geos behind them and you've just used the triumvirate, then yeah, it could quite well be problematic.
Yes, it could be.
But it is fun watching the triumvirate, just the three of them, not do anything and watch the bugs melt themselves.
I know, right? Isn't it? It's all the assists that are taking damage. Oh, God.
She is raid. She's raid spray on the bugs, man.
Mm-hmm.
My love for Treya just grows. Yorkie, my alt's close to getting a 7-star Treya now, and she's just awesome. She's such the clutch squad to go to for nearly everything in game.
All right, let's look here. Next question for Warrior. From Ghost. Question: GA defense. Thoughts on a Django lead, no Zeta, but speed. Boba, Bosk, Dengar, Nest is a 5th. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a really great option. I do prefer Nest in a slightly weaker team just because she then forces a slightly tougher offensive opponent. You pull a better team out, and this is kind of another one of those 2-for-1s. They get to kill Nest and that, but they traditionally, right, use JTR and 4 droids or whatever to take out the bounty hunters, and so Nest will throw a wrench in that unless you are really good with JTR and droids. You will not be able to kill Nest. Some people know how to do it, and it takes a special timing to get it down to get her to come out of stun right when you have your JTR special available to one-shot her, but it's difficult. So that throws that off. Plus, a lot of people have like super tricked out Imperial troopers, and Nest kind of throws a hamper into that as well. So definitely the two kind of like premier counters that a lot of people kind of go to for that nest would stop those 2 counters, or at least throw a real wrench in that. So not a actually bad idea for a very, very solid defense. I just know that it's nice to have Nest on her own little team that kind of, the team's okay, like a B or a C level team, and then putting her in there, it just kind of screws things up, especially if you've got the bugs in the front and they use the triumvirate and they're like, ha ha ha, I only had to use the 3, that was such an easy win, you guys suck. And then they get to the back, your back low, section, and they get to a team with Nest in the back, and they're like, oh my god. And they're like, I don't have anything for her that's going to be a clean win. And then they're trying to kill some 60,000 health with 150% tenacity Nest that just keeps regenerating, and oh man, so definitely don't put Nest with your bugs, in my opinion.
No.
I think that's another 2-for-1 that would be a wasted thing.
Absolutely. All right, next question to you, Mikey, from Wolfell. Question: where can I use a 5 or 6-star BB-8? I have no plans for the Viagra brothers, so no Ray for a while. Some droids make up, or will it work in a not obvious team?
Ooh. Okay, so are we talking like a mid 3 million GP here? That's where I'm thinking we would be. BB fits into lots of places. Okay. You could start with one of my favorite hat raid squads, Akbar BB-8 R2. You'll get some assists between R2 and BB-8, and then 2 big damage dealers. Where else? The other one that's kind of screaming out is, you touched on it in your question, these droids. The content creators are exploding at the moment with General Grievous comps, and most of those do feature BB-8, and most of them feature that you want a squishy BB-8 to die quickly. So that's where I would suggest that you look to. Comps I'm seeing on that, people are trying to stay away from the HK lead because you want HK in your Sith Empire. I'm seeing some very interesting IG-88 leads. So, yeah, IG-88 with BB-8, T3, Grievous.
But that BB is still going to be pretty weak at 5 and 6.
Yeah, but you, with the Grievous comp, that's what you want, because
True.
You want the droid to die to proc Grievous, he'll cleanse, and so yeah, you'll have to watch. You'll have to see how to play it. Quite often, you're not doing the AOE first of all. If you're going against Sith Empire, for example. But yeah, that's where I would look to utilize a BB-8, because it just fits in really well with the requirements of those squads.
Okay. A couple fun questions here before we get Warriors' next question, so we'll kind of just go through these real quick. Reveneer says, what's around the corner? What is everyone's guilty pleasure character to take to Gear 13? I don't really have one. Do you have one, Warrior or Mike?
Yeah, so a lot of people said don't do 2-year Han because they don't really gain much. They're kind of, they were deemed as kind of in the middle of the winners and losers. They weren't the losers, but they weren't the greatest winners. Han saw a big damage increase, but all in all, he does a lot of damage, so it's kind of negligible. And so they weren't seen as a lot. Now, Han was one of the first Gear 13 I got. I was just like, Han Solo, bam! And then just recently, I just did GBA this week, so the Geo Brood Alpha. And so I know a lot of people are just starting to kind of work on that team, but I've always had an affinity for the Geonosians. I don't know why. I really don't. But they've always sucked. And so I've always used them in ships and kind of gotten my glory with them in ships in that sense. And they've really helped me on my Scissorman account be amazing early on. And so I got to give them props. Like, they're the reason why I have so much in-game. Now I'm earning like $120 to $150 in crystals every single month on my free-to-play account because of my Geos. So, like, you can't be mad at that. But now I've got GBA on both accounts, and so on my main account, I took GBA to Gear 13. I'm planning on doing Soldier and Spy, and I'm planning on spending more time actually remodding them and getting them tricked out. I want to be that guy that has that stupid team that everybody's like, oh, damn it, that's the Warriors. You better actually take a good team in on that one. So it'll be fun.
All right. Mikey, any guilty pleasure?
I also did Han.
There you go.
I don't get to do much in the way of Sith raids. It's just when they just fall at bad times for me. So if I get to do anything, it's a bonus. And I chucked in the Chewie version of the in Phase 3 instead of Chirrut. I forget what we call it now. Whatever it is in phase 3 of the thing,
What,
you know,
Chex
so
Mix?
to see it. Chex Mix, that's it. I just threw in a Chex Mix, but with Chewie in place of Chirrut, and oh my god, the difference was amazing.
Yeah.
And it's about the only time I've actually used Hub, but yeah, I mean, hitters that hit, that's what you want, and he doesn't disappoint there. The only other one, I don't know why, but I've got an affinity for young Han Solo, and I almost waste. Maybe waste is the wrong term, but I almost took him to Gear 13. I'm just that stacking damage just
That's
really
nice.
appeals to me.
All right. Let's see. Next question for Wardle. Can I spend the save Zetas and give her Malik and Geos? No, since he will never come back. Now, John Davies' question: is the auto team still working in GA? As far as I know, right? Once you set defense once, it automatically will set the same defense for the next 3, right?
I don't know. I haven't left that to chance. Reward. There's decent rewards. I'm just not gambling on AI doing what you hope it does.
Right. All right. Let's see. How long haven't taken a single character to Gear 13 yet, Ranger? Am I a bad person? Yeah, shame on you. All right. Question for Warrior. So we got a couple of those out of the way. So, question for Warrior. I'm struggling to find the Sith ship combo. I know it's not meta. Just trying to put together the best combo I can for TW offense, etc. What can you tell Darth Coco there, Warrior?
Well, it's a Sith Empire combination that you have to do because there's just not enough Sith and not enough Empire that are good. But the Emperor's Shuttle you can use in the front 3. It's a great reinforcement too, as your first reinforcement. Empire have a number of good hitters, like the TIE Advanced is still a really good hitter. You've got TIE Reaper that you can use. You've got the Gauntlet Starfighter. The Gauntlet Starfighter special can hit for like 60, 70k actually, which is pretty amazing if it crits, and it puts buff immunity up. But for the Sith ships, the B-28 bomber needs to be in your front 3. And then, of course, I personally would use the Sith fighter in the backup. I would not use it in the front 3 because it gets killed actually really quite easily. So you're using the Emperor's Shuttle, the TIE Advanced, the B-28, have Scimitar coming in, have Sith Fighter coming in, have the Gauntlet coming in, have the Reaper coming in. Those ships, a lot of people might do like the Imperial TIE Fighter up front on the first 3 because it goes to the buff immunity. It also gets Foresight up, and then you can bring TIE Advanced in from reinforcements, and the TIE Advanced and reinforcements is going to put all those dots down, plus additional damage and target lock and things as such. Plus it has the dispel, so you can get a reinforcement dispel coming in. But that's kind of the ships that you would be using, Sith and Empire. And the first 3 probably, if you were going to do it, would be Imperial TIE Fighter or the TIE Advanced, plus the B-28, plus the Emperor's Shuttle. The Emperor's Shuttle and TIE Advanced are actually both considered Sith ships, so they're going to get that synergy with B-28 a little bit more than if you use the Imperial TIE Fighter. But the Imperial TIE Fighter does do pretty decent. The Emperor Shuttle is going to use B-28 to keep it safe, and the Emperor Shuttle has a lot of durability and regenerates health and protection, so it's surprisingly pretty tanky ship. The only problem with B-28 is B-28 is not that fast and is actually pretty easy to kill. But once it gets going, it's pretty amazing with the bombs, the concussion mines or whatever they call concussion grenades or whatever that they do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a very reliable counter team. You know, like I actually personally always have and I always will have better luck with First Order, or going like the all tie route. Like if I'm going against somebody has Millennium Falcon, I can just put all 3 ties on the front. Actually, that's what I need to do this week. I totally forgot I was going to do that video, show people how to do that. Because all three ties, 2 are First Order and 1's the Imperial TIE Fighter. And between their 3 specials, you get 5 or 6 hits. Depends on, you know, which, I guess, First Order ability you use. But you can get 5 or 6 hits before anything else goes. All of them, you don't have to worry about turn order. You don't have to worry about them being, maxed out Gear 12. Like a lot of them, people are like, oh, you gotta have Poe, but you gotta do Imperial TIE Fighter first, and then Poe second, and oh, my Poe's higher, so now I gotta get my Imperial TIE Fighter up higher than him, and there's all this like timing, and it's left. You just 3 ties, you know, as long as they're over 190 speed, doesn't matter who goes first or whatever, and they'll all get to take their turn first, and the Millennium Falcon's gone. And then, yes, you're going to lose 1, maybe 2 of your TIE fighters, but then you have the rest of the First Order coming in, or your, durable tanks such as Sunfat coming in, which will keep you alive while you, kill the rest of them. And if you're using your Houndstooth, you could have it as your first reinforcement right afterwards. Houndstooth comes in and they can't kill it if you took out Millennium Falcon with your 3 ties. So yeah, I actually need to do a video on that. I can't believe I haven't done that. I've been talking about that for ages, and now I have time to make videos. So there you go. That'll be a video probably this week.
Sounds like a plan.
I might have missed, but which capital ship are you putting them under?
Well, because obviously Admiral Akbar works best with your defensive team that you're putting on. I use Thrawn, and the reason why I use Thrawn is he can regenerate health and protection on the whole team, so he brings more durability. He can neuter the other team, which you really need to kind of stay alive, putting offense and defense down, things like that. He's got an ultimate, so if things go south or you lose 2 ties at the beginning and you're like struggling and you put your Houndstooth out and all of a sudden he's starting to get pretty whittled away, it's okay, because bottom line, you'll be able to ultimately kill their Houndstooth and probably take out another ship or 2 with his ultimate, and increase the cooldowns long enough to whatever ships you have left over to mop up. So yeah, I always use Thrawn's capital ship. One capital ship I try not to use is Mace, because just Mace is all about defense. He has no offensive fight, which is why the Negotiator is so cool, because the Negotiator is going to be an offensive capable ship from the Galactic Republic. And then I'm not a huge fan. I know a lot of people are, but I'm not a huge fan of the Executrix. And the reason is there's absolutely 0 healing capability. And it seems like inevitably when you're on offense, things go south. Everything you shoot is like, oh, deflected, dodge. You're like, what? There's like a 2% dodge rate. How does this happen? And then, everything lands with gusto. You get like, oh, 97,000 crit. I'd never seen that ship crit for 97K. And buff immunity landed every single time. This is awesome. So just RNG, right? So because of that, I'm not a huge fan of that on offense, because there's just no healing, which means there's no backup to help yourself if things start to go south. So I like, my favorite 2 are Thrawn and Akbar, and that's the 2 that I've developed on my free-to-play account.
All right. Next question for you, Mikey. Fat2099 question: is it worth it to take Zombie Gear 13? I already have DACA and Asajj done. Planned on Talisman, waiting on all the furnishes. Spirit is still being geared, but not a party at the moment because other TB teams. What do you think? Old Zombie to Gear 13, do you think it's worth it?
Oh. I know that the mechanics have changed. Zombie was changed, but you still kind of want her to die to to get things rolling. So I don't know whether I would. To me, I think I would wait, and maybe if you're doing Night Sisters, either stay on target with Talzin, or the Night Sister that I just really, really am enjoying now is Spirit. And I think that Spirit gets quite a lot of boosts. Maybe I'm wrong on this, but I prefer that Zombie can be killed, because you want the protection going from all of them, just to enable them to start losing health and then get the turn meter train rolling. So I think I'd go more aggressive and go for one of the attackers.
All right. Next question. Sean Ragnar, the Red Kelly, for you, Warrior. Question: most important Zeta for Darth Revan.
Most important Zeta for Darth Revan. Leadership, I think, is really what I would go with first. I think anytime you have a character, it's almost always the leadership that really matters most. And I look back now, they're like CLS and everything, and I remember everyone says the It Binds All Things is number one. It's still the number one, like, Zeta practically in the game. Everybody knows It Binds is first, and it's not his leadership. But a free-to-play account, it's like you can do a unique, which makes one character better, or you could do a leadership, which makes everyone better. And so leadership just goes a whole lot further on a free-to-play account where you have fewer Zetas to choose from. So I'm a real fan of doing the lead first and really making the whole team pop, and then going and doing the uniques. I say that, and then of course I do a unique first before a lead on GBA, because of course his unique is just that good. Kind of like It Binds All Things is that good. It's an exception to the rule. It Binds All Things gives turn meter to the whole team, so it is in sense kind of like a leadership Zeta, which is why you got to kind of read the Zetas and see how does this Zeta interact with the whole team. If this Zeta makes the whole team better, and this Zeta makes the whole team better, which one makes the whole team better, and go from there. But yeah, for sure, leadership on that.
All right. Next question from Mikey. Jedi Training Bogus question: since Star Wars Galaxy Heroes already promoted Fallen Order demos, do you think we might get the new Jedi character and a young Saul Guerrero into this game this fall? I don't think so. What do you think of the possibility of that happening?
I like his logic there. The fact that there was a really long trailer, wasn't there, that we were given for the game. It's got to be honest, I'm not familiar with it. I'm not familiar with the characters in there, but I'd say, like with so many things, it opens up the potential for that if they want to release the characters. Again, it's always going to be an assumption, but I would imagine that their creative department is constantly, just developing Star Wars galaxy characters. I would imagine they've got a plethora of them that are there sitting, kind of either waiting to be rounded off and deployed, or are in the initial stages.
Yeah.
But I think at the moment, with so many things going on, I mean, the fact that Grand Arena's kind of coming into play, Grand Arena Championship, GAC, that's probably keeping one side of the devs very, very busy. And, if we're getting lots of clones coming later in the year, I would assume that they're also working on that. Plus, they've got the Geos reworks. Plus, I haven't seen any mention of it today, but we've also got the Galactic Republic reworks. I mean, I think we've been told that Eth Koth and Kit Fisto and possibly new characters for the Galactic Republic. So they're pretty busy, I would imagine.
Yeah. All right. Doja-san's question for you, Warrior. Actually, no, Revenator. I'm sorry. Question for Warrior: how do you get 2 GBAs in your account? You just have to be that good.
Yeah, so I leveled up GeoBrood Alpha. It said you took him to Gear 9, and then like 2 minutes later, it's all you took him to Gear 9. So yeah, to have 2 in one account, it's a special thing. You have to pay off a bunch of developers.
Sure.
Yep. And you've got to have them drop them both in there, but you can't let people see them. So it's got to be a shadow account that's tied to your main account that you can pull those characters out when you want them. So
Okay.
you can, it's a really complex thing. I gotta hit like up, down, left, right, and then it unlocks the extra character.
Right. That makes sense.
And then you hit A, B, A, B, yeah. And then of course you've got the second guy.
Science. Gotta love it. All right. Question from Doja Sun. We'll go to you, Mikey. Question: I don't have Mother Tao's League, but I have both SWGOH Adventure Zeta and Mother Tao's Unique. If saving Night Sisters for offense, what is the typical team you would use them against?
Ooh. It's the Asajj Unique. Is Asajj, did he say who's got the Asajj
SWGOH lead and Mother Tao's Unique.
Okay. I think you're pretty much open to. I'm sorry, this is going to be reasonably vague, but as long as it's not Jedi Knight Revan or Darth Revan, you're pretty much open to anything. I mean, the Night Sisters are a fantastic faction. Very resilient, hit hard. They've got all sorts of nasties in their armories. So, yeah, I mean, I suppose, okay, those 2 factions and healing factions. Anything that will heal more than they deploy would be one to maybe avoid. So the other one I would avoid hitting would be the calf, if calf's sated. Other than that, no, you're pretty good on most things.
Yeah. All right. See if there's any more questions. If you have questions, get those in now. This is our final call for questions. So let me refresh and we will look. Let's see here. Grim, for you, War. Question: according to some of the now X game changers, the game is now dying. Since this is on the internet, it must be true. What game will you guys be switching to? Yes, I'm being clickbaity.
I'll be switching to SWGOH.
Da 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 da. SWGOH. Da 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 da.
Yeah. No. So yeah, every mobile game has a life expectancy, if it's done well, of 6 to 8 years. Kind of that's its run is what they're hoping for. We're at year 3, a little over year 3. So if we get to 6 years, we're at Half-Life. Yeah, and so I mean, if you start to see some downward trends, it is the thing. It is possible. It should wake a few people up and their spending maybe habits if they're not happy with their spending habits in their life and stuff like that. But all in all, I mean, there's still a long time. I've done, I think, 10 or 12 games on my channel. If you look at different playlists, you'll see different games I've dabbled in. They never do very well because people come to watch my videos for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. So obviously I'm going to be doing that. The truth is I didn't start my YouTube channel to even do YouTube. I started it because I learned something and went, well, I shouldn't be the only one that knows this. I should tell everyone. And so I put it out there, and then it got, a ton of views. And I was like, wow, people want to know this information. So then it became that passion of mine to try and share what I was learning with the community. And it just kind of blossomed from there. So it was organic in nature, and that was kind of the point. If it organically grows, it will probably organically die. I'm not sure at this point if I'm going to evolve to another game or whatever. Honestly, what Star Wars Galaxy Heroes entails and requires from me isn't what I want from another game ever ever again. So I'm going to kind of ride it out. I know there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and so I'm kind of okay. I'm at peace with where I'm at, but I'm not sure. I mean, if I transition my channel, it will probably be to non-game related things. Probably more like, I don't know, in a opinion thing where I tell stories or, give opinions or, give guys motivational speeches. Who the hell knows? I don't know, but I don't know if I'll personally do another game, and I could be totally wrong. Maybe in 3 years I'll be playing another game. I don't have any plans for that.
All right. Ski Trooper question. It says, question, I took Jingo, Embo, Bosk, Bubba, and Dengar to year 12 to be a defensive team, but I feel I may have the wrong 5. Is there someone I should swap out? Jingo, Embo, Bosk, Bubba, and Dengar. Yeah, you need Zam Wessel in there. I don't know how you feel, Mike.
I was going to say swap. I get why Embo's in there because of his basic and he can hit pretty hard, and if you fill his contract, but you want Zam in there. If you're running a Django lead, you've got to hit debuff targets. Zam is one of the best deployers of thermal detonators, which is a debuff, which means that everyone will have that blue target on them for the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be who I would switch around. And thermal detonators are devastating, and I think Ranger will attest to that.
Yeah, they come out of nowhere, and you're just like, I mean, you don't expect them to be that much damage, but they can very rarely crit in a way that does some significant damage where it could take out a character, and you're like, oh, okay. So a little shocking to see, but it can happen on the rare occurrence. So,
and also, the Dengar Zam combo works really well because Dengar's AOE also deploys thermal detonators, and then if you get Zam going, and she started, if Zam isn't locked under a taunt, then she will one shot the entire squad if it's loaded right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I know it wasn't Zam. I've played around with I have played around with quite a few different thermal detonator squads, but you had that great one, didn't you? Was it Revan that the jar was destroyed with? Yeah. Don't underestimate thermal detonators. That's where I would go, and you want Boba in there because Boba and Django both ignore taunts. They can hit the weakest or the big damage dealers for you. That would be my recommendation. Just Zam for Embo.
All right, pull up the next questions. We're not pulling any more questions, guys, so that's it. Let's see here. All right. Jesus. Ray Rock says, question Warrior, if you stop covering games on YouTube, please do story time on YouTube. I guess your story times are going real well.
That's my point. There's some organicness there, right? I just decided to start telling stories at the end of my live streams, and it's very quickly become one of the most popular parts of my thing, and people are actually now saying, go take your live stream, cut the story time out, make it its own video, and so I'm starting to do that now. If that's actually genuinely a popular thing, then that may be something that my channel morphs into, something similar to that, because obviously I want to continue doing things that are organic and fun and that people actually enjoy watching.
All right, and then last question for Warrior. We'll kind of go around to everybody, but look who it is, my dear Lord in heaven. It's Urz from Urzatron. The Outer Rim heartthrob himself is here. Cape and all with the porn mustache, looking fly, like always. He has a question for all of us. He says, which mode does everyone prefer? GOTB or Grand Arena Championships? Where, if you had to pick one that you're getting more enjoyment out of, which one would you choose?
So it depends on the account. If I'm in my main account, I am enjoying the GOTB a little bit more. It's challenging. I'm having to really take my time, take certain teams in, remod certain characters, pay attention, focus, whatever. Grand Arena, I hate it on my main account. Everyone I am getting, is 5.7 multi-P, maxed out rosters. They've been playing a lot of them since day one. They got crazy mods. When you see a Darth Revan on defense where the Malik is at 340 and their Revan's at 335 and you're 10 to 15 speed below both of them, knowing you can't beat that team, and you got to do like your Padme team and your Darth Revan team to take it out. Like, it's just no fun anymore. It's like, I just don't enjoy that. But on my Scissorman account, I'm not a fan of the PvE at all. It's actually a dredge because I don't have a ton of teams developed out high enough yet to really be a super contributor on PvE, like the raids and stuff. I mean, I can put in 3 million on a Sith raid or a heroic Sith raid or whatever. I mean, I can contribute, but it's not like what I could do on my main account. So I'm not a huge fan of the PvE, but PvP, on the other hand, I'm being, placed with these individuals that have interesting rosters, and I'm having to, strategize on GAC, what I'm putting on defense, what I'm leaving myself for offense. What am I going to have as undersized teams? What am I going to have as oversized? Like, I can't on my main account go undersized. Like, there's just no way. Every character, every team is so maxed out. If you don't take all 5 of a synergistic team, you're not winning. Whereas on my alt account, I can take in 3 and beat 5, or take in 4 and beat 5 pretty easily because I know about synergies. So I love GAC on my Scissorman account. I've won almost every single battle on that account. And then on my main account, it's more about the PvE. I enjoy the PvE a little more.
All right. What about you, Mikey? GOTB or GAC?
Okay, I'm stuttering a lot there. Warrior just basically said everything. What he said, pointy thing. Hello. Oh God. Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
It's not my stream.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait, is that Sweary Daughter? Mike, use deadly force as necessary. Do not let her drop F-bombs here. Kill her.
We can't do F-bombs, apparently, or not on this one. So,
I just watched
the Half-Blood things. Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Nice.
She watching Harry Potter.
what?
What?
No, she's quoting a line from Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Not being homophobic. Harry Potter.
All right.
Yeah, I always forget what that word actually means.
Yeah.
So it's food.
Yeah, I got banned from a server for saying that word.
But it's food.
Actually, no, I didn't even say. I said the word, but I actually explained that it's a meatball in the UK. It's a culinary. Well, it's stretching it to say a culinary delight, but it is actually a.
All right, back to Galaxy of Heroes, Mike.
So yeah, sod off. I'm answering questions. It's Q&A. Go play your Apex. Fly.
Why is our internet?
Oh Lord.
Yeah, fly. Right,
Oh Lord.
Sweary. Okay, so we had a sweary intervention.
Yeah,
it was problematic.
It was problematic in the hall.
Oh no! Wait a minute.
Oh Lord.
What was I answering?
Favorite GAC or GOTB?
Okay, yeah. So, same as Warrior. I've got all the pieces for GB territory battles. Oh, I must say though, Yorkie can compete. Yorkie's got a 7-star Night Sister squad that I was being asked, how on earth did you get? I got a 1 in 4 on phase 4, which was great. But on the GAC side of things, I tend to feel pressurized. It's all self-applied, and it shouldn't be. On my main account, I feel that I have to do well, and I'm going against awesome opposition who've got fantastic mods. Quite often, I'm outgunned on a lot of stats, whereas Yorkie gets the really interesting ones. Yorkie's able to go in and go with undersized squads and use more of the roster more of the inventory. On big accounts, you've kind of got to be using the main factions. You can't play around as much. So, although I'm sure Urs would disagree with that second part, but they're both enjoyable. They're both actually great additions, I think, to the game. I mean, they've got the whole community buzzing, so
yep.
It's a win-win-win.
It is a win.
Plaudits to them there, and they're ironing out the wrinkles.
All right. Maybe we'll have Urs one day on the actual Jedi Academy if he ever get his lazy ass up after 10 to be up at 8 o'clock in the morning. But maybe one day, Urs, if you want to join the Jedi Academy, instead of being a spectator, you can actually come answer some damn questions, Urs.
He could do a zero alcohol whole night, couldn't he?
No, I think I'll have Urs on. I'm going to have to start early and start drinking bourbon, man. I can't have Urs on and not drink. All right. We love you, Urs. All right. And make sure you check out his channel. I know he's going to be streaming tonight. Funniest stuff ever, man. Still the funniest moment ever in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes is the money thing. Oh, my God. All right. That's it for the questions. No more questions. But Urs, you do have an open invitation. Just let me know, brother. We're going to let everybody pimp their stuff. So we're going to start with you, Warrior. I know you're on vacation. You're chilling. Probably getting some new video and content out there. I know a lot of people are happy about it. So what's going on in Warrior's world? Pimp your stuff.
Yeah, so I am on vacation. I do have a ton of things planned, multiple four-wheeling trips and camping trips.
Nice.
And I'm going to a baseball game, and I'm going to a concert tonight. So I've got lots of fun stuff planned, but I do have a number of little moments where I've got scheduled for YouTube to do at least 2 or 3 videos over the next 7 days. So I should be able to do my weekly live stream and still put out a couple of other videos. So pretty excited about just having time and finally being over that hump. But I've got 2 channels, of course, my Ross Review channel and then my main channel. My main channel has seen a massive influx of viewership and stuff over the last week. That's been nice. So if you had watched me, kind of gave up because you realized I was going straight to just live streams, which, by the way, someone was on Reddit complaining that basically all the YouTubers have gone to live stream format. Note that is only for my Scissorman account. On my main account, when I'm going back to regular videos, they'll be the regular 5 to 12 minute videos that are more educational and things like that. So
sure.
I never really did live stream on my main accounts, and I'll go back to that. So for anyone who unsubscribes, just this is stupid, I don't want to do live streams, go ahead and resubscribe, and you're going to get the other content that's those 5 to 12 minute videos.
There you go. Awesome stuff. So make sure you check out Warrior's channel. Mike, I know you got your own channel. Why don't you pimp your stuff here, buddy?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. I love this show. I've been playing around. I'm kind of almost learning how to edit my videos, and I did a silly vid last week entitled Shat Twat, TWAAT, and it's just kind of inferring to when she gets stacked with courage, and then she can just literally one-hit someone out the park. And did a silly promo of that. It makes me laugh so much that I did another one. So I've done snips this week, and I'm thinking I might be making a little series of those. And obviously I'm going to be covering next GOTB. We've got the Grand Arena. I know who I'm facing in Grand Arena, and I'm being naughty. I'm not releasing yesterday's until we've gone live tonight.
I know.
I just can't tell him what to set if he hasn't already set. And I've also got Yorkie has a 7-star Jedi Knight Reverend. You can't get him. You can't level him up because he doesn't have the credits. But I've got the vid of that as well, and that'll be coming out. So yeah, lots of stuff.
All right. Very good. Okay. All right, if you're watching this, you're watching Reality Skewed Gamers. I'm Ranger J 1999. We do this show every Saturday from 10 a.m. to about 12 p.m. where we're getting ready to finish up. Do me a favor, guys. Give us a thumbs up on the video if you're watching this right now. Just stop what you're doing. Give us a thumbs up. Help support the channel. Help spread the content out there. Always important. If you can do me a big favor, go support these other guys. Right, and not even just the guys here, but the other great community content creators out there. You know, whenever I can, I'm throwing people like on Twitch to Spartan EZ or Dakara. Here, we'll send people to Urs because we love his content. Darth Micro, Just Ian, Xylo Takedown. But do me a big important favor for these guys that are on the Jedi Academy, like Jedi Jet Master Dasha and our friend Warrior and Mike. Go support their channel. Just go watch their videos, give them a thumbs up, subscribe. It means a difference. These guys and gals, you know, they take the time to be here to answer your questions, to help you with your experience with Star Wars Galaxy Heroes, to make you better. We're just the facilitators of that. We'll sprinkle in a little bit of our own mental damage here and there, but support these guys. It really does make a difference. So if I can encourage you guys to do anything today, once you get done watching us here, go watch their videos, go support them when they're live streaming. You know, it's fun. You get to meet other people in the community. I encourage you highly to not only do that, join their discords, join our discords. There's just a lot of great people in the community that you can meet and that are Star Wars fans that love this game, love other games. It's just a great way to meet people, hang out, and have something fun to do. So please do that for me if you could, please. So give us a thumbs up on our video. Go watch these other great guys. Make sure you check out Urs Dumbass tonight when he's drinking Corellians and keeping Core away from me because he's being a cock blocker. So with that being said, thank you guys for joining us today on the Jedi Academy. It is very much appreciated. For today, for our channel tonight, we will do, I think 5 or 6 p.m. I'm going to set it up where I do 4 hours of Battlefront 2. I know you guys have been really loving the Battlefront 2. I've been doing it a long time. You guys like seeing me going in there wrecking shop. So typically what I do is I try to get heroes and go around and just kick the crap out of people. You guys seem to enjoy that. So, and we'll do different game modes. Mainly been doing Capital Supremacy so I can show off the new things like the Droideka, the new clone tank, those kind of things. So, but yes. With that being said, and then after that, 10 o'clock p.m. tonight, I don't know if we're doing Pictionary. Finn's out of town. We'll see what happens. So if you're looking for Pictionary tonight, our weekly Pictionary where we let everybody come in and have fun. I don't know if that's happening. I'll have to find out from Finn, but he's in the middle of Virginia somewhere doing something. He was talking about getting like a colonial outfit. I don't know what the hell Finn does. So, but with that, we're going to end the stream. Thank you very much for being here, guys. Please enjoy your Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow as well I'll do some mini Ross reviews and stuff. Maybe I'll hang out with you guys, but we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll take a day off. But with that, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day and weekend if we don't see you. And we will holler at you later. Peace out.